Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today we're going to be covering the latest population numbers. I did miss last week because there wasn't really much to report. It was exactly the same. And I've been busy, covering Fresh, covering Phase 6. Just a lot of actual content to cover instead of, just reviewing a few numbers on a graph. But this week was actually very pleasantly surprising given Classic Fresh came out, as well as it also being a major U.S. holiday with Thanksgiving, and a lot of people tend to travel and spend time with family, and WoW takes a backseat to those things. So all in all, these numbers are pretty impressive to me, and they are indications that there are healthy raiding communities that are staying and playing the game, even though there are many other options. But before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm going to switch it over here to the numbers. We're going to dive right in. So this is the overall from Classic 2019 all the way to current day Cataclysm, and as you can see there are breaks here. From right here is the first dip. This is when TBC launched, this dip is when Wrath of the Lich King launched, and this dip is when Cataclysm launched. So you can see three major dips for the three major X-Pack launches. That's to be expected. Then we can look at Classic 2019 to TBC, that it averaged about 300 to 350,000 players the entire time, which is really, really good to see. Healthy, strong raiders. This was during COVID too, so a lot of people had a lot more free time as well. Then when TBC came out, it dipped, and then we go over to TBC, which is really a raid-heavy expansion. And as you can see with TBC, people love TBC because it barely even dropped below 300k. Like Classic, it peaked at like 400k, and then had a drop off here when we got towards Nax and the harder raids, and then we see the 300k mark at TBC, and it held that the entire time, even with TBC's enhanced difficulty, which is really cool. Then it took that 300k, went into Wrath of the Lich King, and Wrath peaked at 626,000 people for Nax Rammus during the first couple weeks of launch, which is kind of nutty. Then it keeps going onward. Then we see Ulduar at 514k peak, and then we see TOGC into ICC at 400,000 raiders. And then obviously ICC lasted really, really, really long, almost 20 plus weeks. And so as you see, it goes down and down and down, and it reached a rock bottom of 50,000 people, which is to be expected because Cata launched. Now, Cataclysm is very unique in this graph. As you can see, the big major three of the Classic Trilogy held very strong numbers the entire time. Cata, on the other hand, it started strong. It started at 300,000 for the first couple weeks, and it has done nothing but dip. It dipped to an all-time low of 50,000 players right before Firelands launched. Firelands launched, and it did bring it back up to 120,000, 125,000, and then 122,000. So it seems to be staying at that 120k, which is good, but it's not what we expect from Cata. Even knowing that it's going to Mr. Pandaria, even knowing what's in the future, it's still really bad to see it not really leap ahead and go back up to that mark. And as you can see, like the previous three held a strong, steady raiding population at that. While Cata was never popular, I would have expected to see Cata at like 200k-ish and keep going that way. Like, it lost some of its people, but it lost a significant amount, and it is very scary for a Cata player because, as you can see, like, the attrition phase of Firelands is going to hit it really hard, especially with Fresh, especially with SoD coming out, especially with all of these stuff coming out. I think Cata's going in for a rude awakening and is going to go down quite a lot here in the coming weeks. Next, let's switch it over to Season of Discovery, continue to break that down. So this is SoD Phase 1 right here. It peaked at 500,000 players, which is really impressive. Obviously, I will note that it is important to say that you could literally make a new character, level it to 25 in a day, and then go and do the raid and count as one of these numbers. A few times in this chart, count as 8 people because I went absolutely insane in Phase 1 and leveled every single character to do all the rune guides, and so that can be something to look at and note. Then we went to phase 2, which was Nomergon. Leveling from 25 to 40 was absolutely brutal at this time. There was no XP buff. It was just raw, hard leveling. And as you can see, it took its toll, and we only peaked at 327,000. And phase 2 was the weakest phase that we saw. So, or in terms of length, it only lasted 8 weeks. So then we went into phase 3, which was the longest phase at 14 weeks, as well as it took 20 people to do a raid. So that really limited pugs. It really hurt a lot of people trying to do that. Leveling up from 40 to 50 was not bad at all, but as you can see, it just dwindled down and down and down, because Sunken Temple was also a difficult raid, and it took 20 people, and it bottomed out at 20,000 players. And then we see it go from 20k all the way up when phase 4 came out for MC and the heat system to 75k. Phase 4, it peaked at 88,000. Then we see BWL and ZG over here, where it just started at that 88k and has pretty much stayed between 88 and 85k up until this last week, where it went to 77k, and then we went down to 66k. And I think this is attributed to Fresh launching as well as Thanksgiving. I can't wait to see the next week's numbers to see if these bound back up. But for me and running the SoD Saviors Guild, I gave everyone the week off. We had 5 to 10 callouts total in both raids combined, so it was just really difficult to do it. I would have had to pug and force people to be there, and I just said, you know what, guys, go enjoy the holidays, go have a great day. And it's just loot, you know, at the end of the day. We're already having on farm. We only need a few select pieces anyway. So I gave everyone the week off. I thought that was best, so people can play fresh. They can get their, classic fix in. They can go out there and do whatever they want to do. And obviously go spend time with their families during the holidays. So that is my predictions. Those are my guesses on where I think we are going to see the population numbers go. I am very pleasantly surprised, because if you would have looked right after Warcraft Direct and saw what people were saying, they were like, SoD's dead, no one's going to play SoD, no one's ever going to SoD again, SoD is like dead as can be, and that is absolutely wrong. Even former creators, I saw Sam Medina, he did a video before the numbers out, and he looked at the logs, but I think he only looked at the mythic logs or something. He was like, we're only going to see 20k, so watching his video and then coming here and then seeing the actual numbers be way higher is such a relief. I was getting scared after watching his video about it, but it's really, really pleasant to go see the numbers truly be at 67,000 opposed to 20k and where it was at the end of phase 3. So those are my predictions. I would love to hear what you guys think. If you're doing SoD, if you're doing Fresh, if you're doing Cata, if you're doing retail even, I would love to hear what WoWs you're playing, if you're playing WoW at all, because I think it's important to put your voice out there and see what you're doing. But anyway, I truly hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.